This is Cookie Clicker, but you are the cookie, and you don't want to be clicked. Instead, you shoot cookies to destroy the curses. Then you get upgrades with incredible art to make you even more powerful. The game keeps getting harder and harder with even more annoying curses until you lose. I made this for the GMTK Game Jam, a competition where you have to make an entire game in under 48 hours following a specific theme. Let's travel back to 3 AM when the theme was revealed. I thought of making Cookie Clicker, but you're the cookie. Here's my picture. You've got a cookie, you've got shooting the clicker. You're done being clicked. I better start working on that. We've got a cookie, we've got a background. I need to make it do something, and I also don't have the clicker yet. Look, the cookie moves. So the cookie is facing my mouse pointer, and yes, we're shooting little cookie bullets. Cursors aren't able to move yet, but they should be able to get damaged. I fixed that, broke everything else, but eventually got the cursor to actually move. I was not expecting that to work. That was my first hour of work, and we got the very basic mechanics working. For the next hour, I focused on the health and spawning systems. Okay, I've not tested the damage system yet. I've made a game over screen and given the player 1 health, and the cursor does 1 damage, so... Okay, I didn't give the player hitbox before, but it should work now. Ow, I got hurt. We've got a game over screen, we can play again. No, we cannot play again, okay. Let's try that again. We can play again, and it works all perfectly fine. Okay, I've made a spawner system. They spawn right on top of you, that's dumb. Okay, it's working. We've got cursors, they're spawning. They're gonna try and click us. With that, we have a simple working game. Past me would think that making something work was good enough. Just look at this Scratch game I made 5 years ago. It's functional, but doesn't feel fun. Having all the features in the world doesn't really matter if the player doesn't enjoy them. I haven't muted the game audio. There is none. The boulders hitting the wall is the only effect. Even if the levels are amazing, they need just a little more juice to feel fun. That is what I'm focusing on in this game. But we also need enough things to do to make this an actual playable game, so I'm still adding features, like this health bar, so we can shoot the cursors, but if they get us, they can click multiple times now. To make a game fun, the player needs a sense of progression. You need new things to do, so I added upgrades. I'm thinking every so often you'll get to choose a new upgrade, so you have 3 options. You choose one, has some stats, then you click continue. Now, I need to figure out how to make it work, which is going to be a bit hard. This was definitely the most complicated system. There's like a lot of code, most of which is probably garbage. Anyways, 4 hours have passed since the last clip, so it should work, right? And we've only got 1 upgrade. I've messed something up. Well, in those 4 hours, I kinda got a little bit distracted. That's a lot of cookies. Way too many cookies. But eventually I got the upgrades working. You can tell I've drawn the icons because of how absolutely dreadful they are. I did some play testing and added some new upgrades. I've added quite a few upgrades, and I think they might even work. I then decided to make the worst main menu possible, but then redeemed myself by adding sound effects and music. You know, that whole make the game fun bit I was talking about? There's chill, relaxing upgrade music. But then it gets really intense with the action music. And with that, day 1 was over. It was a productive day. We added the cookie, cursors, health, upgrades, and all that essential stuff. That night, I struggled sleeping. Would I finish the game? Would people even like it? Okay, it's day 2. The game needs to be published tonight. So I will need to have a lot of new features, like a tutorial so you know how to play it, balance, some more upgrades. Oh, I also need credits because I'm using music and I need to attribute that. There's a lot of things to do. Starting with a main menu that doesn't suck, and the credits page. After that, I didn't record any progress updates. For the tutorial, I tried to make it helpful and unintrusive. Too many games stop you playing the game to show an annoying pop-up that is not even useful. This game shows you a single instruction at the bottom of the screen and we'll just show you another one when you complete it. I added more upgrades, some even work. There's power-ups too. I also added more cursors, a fast cursor, and a slow, tanky one. I also got my dad, brother, and even sister, she thinks my games are mid, to playtest, which I used to balance the game. I also tried to add as much polish as I could, with more particles, and more sound effects, and like one animation. The time was ticking. It was time to release. I hastily made a landing page with a basic description, boring screenshots, and a crappy unedited trailer. It had a clickbait thumbnail though. And at midnight, way past my bedtime, I pressed publish. That night, I was even more anxious. I put so much effort into making this game as fun as I could, but would anyone like it? Would anyone even play it? The next morning, I checked the comments.
You suck. You're mid. The emoji movie is better than this. Better than this.
I'm kind of embarrassed with how much I enjoyed this silly game. All of the 70 comments were positive with helpful, constructive criticism. Thank you. 1 week later, the ratings were in. My silly little cookie game was ranked 1,663rd out of 6,819 entries, putting it in the top 25%. Notably, it was ranked 489th for enjoyment. People actually found my game fun.